Did you know that Ghana is the world's second largest producer of cocoa, but produces very little chocolate itself? In Ghana, the shelves of supermarkets overflow with sugary, mass-produced, low cocoa content foreign chocolate brands, many made with Ghanaian chocolate beans. Today, I'm going to show you a chocolatier who takes pride in making chocolate where cocoa grows. Everything they said we couldn't do in Africa, I'm literally here to show you that yes, it is happening, it is possible, and we are doing it. Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Amaka of Skybell Beauty, and today I am at a very interesting and different location. Today we're going to be meeting with a chocolate maker in Ghana. Do they produce chocolate in Africa? Yes, we do. We do a whole lot of things, and today we're going to be showing you the amazing person behind this brand. We're also going to be showing you how to make chocolate in Ghana. And if you didn't know, Ghana is the second largest exporter of cocoa. They have the most amazing and fresh cocoa right here on the continent, so we're going to take you in and show you how it's done. Let's go. Hello. So nice to meet you.
Give me a hug.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Welcome to Deco Craft.
Wow, thank you. It's so amazing in here.
Yeah.
Wow. So this is where all the magic happens.
Yes. That's where we make all the chocolates.
Wow. There are a lot of people who believe that Africans can make chocolate.
Actually, that's not true. We make chocolates. The best chocolate should actually be coming from here, but it's not so.
Why do you say that? Because people may be wondering.
We have the best cocoa in the world. We have Ghana is the second largest producer of cocoa. So if everyone wants to produce chocolate, we would definitely take a huge size of the global chocolate market.
So that means the chocolate that we get in Ghana is actually made from premium quality raw materials.
Yes, the one produced in Ghana. Yes.
So then, why do people still have that mentality that you have to export, you have to import chocolate before?
I think that's something we've been used to for a long time. So I don't know who started it, but I think the trend is changing, and we need more years for it to change.
Wow. So your brand is so amazing.
Thank you.
I'm yet to try the chocolate, but I can see from what you're doing that it's really inspirational.
Thank you.
So tell us a bit about your company, Deco Craft.
Okay, so Deco Craft is a Ghanaian company founded by a woman. Yeah.
Yes.
A young woman.
An African
young woman. Yes. And we make premium chocolate from Ghana's cocoa beans. We actually make cakes too, but our main products are the chocolates.
Wow. So what inspired you to go into chocolate making? Because it's not a norm in Ghana. Actually,
Ghana has a lot of cocoa, so there was a need to produce the chocolates locally. It's quite sad when you visit all supermarkets and you find so many brands of foreign chocolates, and there are some that are not so good, not so healthy, full of sugar and full of milk. Yeah, so there was a need to produce a kind of chocolate that was premium,
rich, fresh, authentic, and original.
Yeah.
And by a woman, an African woman.
By an African woman.
That's inspiring.
Thank you
so
much.
We would like to see the process, how it's made, because people still don't believe that it's possible. So we need to show them.
Sure, yeah, we have to show them.
Yeah. Right? Okay, let's go.
Yeah. So another welcome.
Wow. So this is where it all takes place.
Yeah, actually this is just our awards. I took part in the competition in Cote d'Ivoire. Ghana was third. I represented Ghana, and Ghana was third.
So can you take us through the process? What do you have here?
Okay, so these are cocoa beans.
Wow.
Okay, so what we do is we roast these cocoa beans. When you roast them, you're able to take off the shell.
Okay.
All the shells from it, and it becomes this. Okay, so this is what we call cocoa nibs. And out of this cocoa nibs, we get these three things: as in cocoa butter, cocoa powder, and then cocoa mass. So you can take it as a snack.
Okay.
This one you can use it in chocolate making. Some use it in cosmetics. This you can use it in your cakes. As this is a Milo
Yes.
All the chocolate drinks. Yeah, all the
So
chocolate
amazing.
drinks. And this is what we also use for making chocolate.
What's happening at the moment? I can see chocolate pouring.
Okay, this is actually we call it tempering machine. So that kind of melts the chocolates and then gets it to the right temperature for us to mold it into any shape we want. So it's just about it makes it easy for you to fill the molds. That's why we have this pipe here. It's rather than you just using a ladle to pick it out. Yeah.
So everything here is so sanitary and so professional.
Yeah.
So from here we move to
We go to the fridge where it kind of hardens because it's from liquid, then it gets into the fridge to kind of become a solid. And then we wrap it and then we package it.
I can see 3 different chocolate bars.
Yes.
What are they made of?
Okay, so this is a dark chocolate.
Okay.
It's 60% cocoa. This is milk chocolate. Plain milk chocolate. This is milk chocolate with plantain chips.
Oh my god! Are you serious?
Yes.
What was about this idea? Because I mean, plantain chips is a staple snack.
Yeah, I like crunchy things in chocolate. So
Yes.
we just decided to put something crunchy in it, apart from just peanuts. And we came up with this.
Can we try one?
Yeah, sure. You can try any of them.
Oh my goodness! Oh my
That's a
goodness!
milk chocolate.
Wow! This is so amazing, and it tastes so fresh. So please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. My name is Ipia Obenuwa-Donko, and I'm the CEO of DecoCraft, a company that makes premium chocolate from Ghana's cocoa beans.
Have you always been based in Ghana, or you've never moved out of Ghana?
Yes, I've lived in Ghana all my life.
In terms of starting up a business in Ghana, how was the process like?
Okay, so when it comes to chocolate making, it wasn't easy at all. The major problem I had was acceptance because, as you said, people knew just one brand. So everyone thought, oh, aren't you sure you're going to take this chocolate, you melted it, and you're now coming to sell to us? People just wouldn't believe chocolate could be made at home by the hand because everyone was expecting you to have a very big factory. But I actually didn't have a big factory when I was starting. So I started with doing something different. I started with chocolate shoes so that people would know that yes, it was actually made in Ghana, and that I didn't go and buy from outside.
What's the process like sourcing for the cocoa itself? Because I hear those who farm cocoa can't export their products.
Okay, so in Ghana, unfortunately, there is this strict law that you can't purchase cocoa beans directly from the farmer. So I think, as you are saying, the farmer too can't go out of his way to export the beans. He has to get a license. So with the cocoa industry, there are lots of licenses that you have to get. So I don't always source the beans directly from the farmers. We work through another company that would do a part of the process for us, and we will go and take it and then manufacture it because that's what we are licensed to do.
See. Wow. So doesn't that increase the price for you, the end user?
Yeah,
of
it
the
really
product?
does increase the price.
Can you give us like an estimate as compared to if you were buying?
I could say probably 30%.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's that huge because that's where we are trying to get to. It's quite a challenge because if you could just walk to a farmer and then just get your cocoa beans, it will be quite cheaper, but also it involves a lot of processes. So as a manufacturer, you kind of choose which one works for you. If you want to get it from another company that has processed it to a point, or you get it directly from the farmer, which is not really allowed in Ghana.
So how did you actually learn how to make chocolates? Because I don't believe there's any school that teach, or is there?
Actually, there is. So I took a 5-day training at cocoa processing company, the only manufacturers of chocolates as at that time, and we were the first batch. They have actually trained a number of people, but it's just that it's a tough industry, so lots of people didn't go into it. But I was trained, and then I learned every other thing from books and then from YouTube online.
How long did it take you from the time you went to the 5-day training till the day you actually started and launched the first chocolate product?
Okay, actually the first chocolate product was launched, I think, just about a month after I went for the course. I started selling. I was that serious. But for the whole process, it's been 7 years since I went for that training, and it's been a journey worth it. Yes, it's been a tough one, but it's been worth it.
How would you rate the patronage of your products, especially here in Ghana and outside?
Okay, I can say that the patronage has been good because it keeps growing. There has never been a decline in our sales, like our annual sales. So people are gradually accepting that, so probably the company is doing something right. Yeah, so I believe we still have more to do as Ghanaians because chocolate is not part of our eating culture. So there is the need to still improve upon it, and there is more chocolate.
Did you have people invest in your brand?
Actually, of course, family. My parents have invested their money. I didn't have any money when I was starting, but I think for me, I took part in a lot of entrepreneurship competitions. That has really helped me. Tony Elimeni Foundation, and then Indian business competition. So that has been what has helped me to get funds for my business.
So no.
No, I think Indian was through UKA, so the UK government, but for Ghana, no.
Wow. This is what we need in Africa. We need support, because if we sit back and wait for people from outside to support our own, then how do we intend to grow? How do we intend to be big? How do we intend to reach the global stage? We need to support our own. We don't need to wait for industries from outside, agencies from outside to support our African businesses. And that's why we're bringing this business to you, and we want you guys to support. So we have this issue where there are lots and lots of Africans who want to move outside of Africa because they feel, oh, I can go out there, I can make it big, I can have access to basic things in life that I would not have here in Africa, and when I get back home I will be rich.
Yeah.
I would have made it, and people would respect me and all of that. And whilst there are people who have been able to do that, I feel like it's a little bit damaging to the young people, because you see a lot of people going through so many. I mean, they go there and they are washing dead bodies. It's that bad, all in a bid to seek for greener pastures. What would you tell such an African who is watching you and who feels like it's not possible? I can't do anything here, I can't be great.
Honestly, I think my chocolate business is a perfect example. I mean, who would have thought we could make chocolates in Ghana? When I was little, we could only get chocolate from outside. And I remember one time I went to London, I used my last money to buy chocolate for my friends at the university. So I believe that if you have a dream and you think you can make it in Africa, or you believe you can make it in Africa, just be on the continent, and then just follow your passion. It's all about passion. I wouldn't say that going abroad is wrong, but I mean, go for the right reasons, and be in Africa too for the right reasons. Yeah.
And there's also the flip side of people who are in the diaspora, Africans who probably they moved when they were maybe kids, and they have this dream that, okay, one day I would like to return back to Africa, but they are scared. They don't know if they would make it. They don't know, like they feel lost in the system. What would your advice be to them?
I believe that Africa has a huge potential to grow when it comes to entrepreneurship. There are so many opportunities here, and I've had the privilege of kind of living. So actually, right now my company is US and Ghana.
Oh, wow.
Just that the US is a bit of a smaller company than what we have in Ghana. So I kind of know a little bit about what goes on there, and I see that there are so many things, or someone who has lived there would have so much experience to bring back to the continent. So don't be afraid. There are so many job opportunities here. There are so many businesses that you can start. There are so many unused raw materials that we could put to very, very good use. So come back with your big ideas and then just make it here.
So speaking about your orders in Ghana, what does it look like in a typical week?
We do chocolates for events, mostly corporate organization, and before the lockdown, our chocolate was on South African Airways, which is such a huge honor.
Guys, please go on her page right now. I'm going to leave her handle across the screen. Follow the page and place your order, because we are the ones that will support our own. So please go right now, pause this video, go to her page, like it, and come back. All right. Thank you so much for sitting down and talking with us. I am inspired because I mean there's so many things in Africa that we are being told that it's not possible. Either you are a doctor, is either you are an engineer or a lawyer, pilot or politician, and then you're good. The pathway to wealth and changing the world and changing our continent is not by the white collar job alone. I'm not saying that it's wrong. There are people who make it through that means, but it's not for everyone. So that's why we're here to tell a different story. Make sure to share this video. Everyone out there needs to know that yes, we are making good use of our raw materials in Africa. There are people who are doing amazing and inspiring things on the continent. Wow, that was an amazing one, guys. Look at this. This is what we talk about when we talk about Africa and telling a different story from what you see out there. All of this can be done. If you're out there and you want to move back to Africa and you're thinking, okay, what can I do? What is there for me to do? This is an example. She's a living proof. Like this video as a sign of support and share to everyone so they will know that amazing things are happening right here on the continent. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.